You know, we're always told that to be powerful, you've got to speak up, right? Command the room, make your voice heard. But what if the real source of power is in what you don't say? In this explainer, we're diving deep into the dark laws of strategic silence. It's this fascinating, kind of counterintuitive way of looking at influence. We're going to unpack the big ideas behind it and give you some real tactics you can start using, well, today.
Okay, this one idea, this is the foundation for everything we're about to talk about. It completely flips the script on what we think of as powerful. It suggests that the person who seems to be projecting all this strength with their volume is actually showing everyone just how vulnerable they are. So let's get into why that is.
And that leads us right into our first big concept, understanding the inherent weakness of words. Let's try looking at speaking not as a strength, but as a potential liability. How can the simple act of talking actually undermine your own position and hand your opponent the advantage?
It's a totally fair question, right? I mean, from job interviews to big negotiations, we're trained to articulate our thoughts, to be clear. But here's the thing. Every single word you speak is a piece of information. It reveals your position, what you want, where you're weak, and what your strategy is. And in the game of power, information is absolutely everything.
And this right here, this breaks it down perfectly. The speaker is constantly broadcasting data. They might slip up, say way too much, or lock themselves into a position way too early. But the silent observer, they're like a black hole for information. They're not making any mistakes because they haven't said a thing. And that's silence. It gets mistaken for confidence, for control. It's like they're playing chess while the other person is just shouting out their next move.
So, this brings us to the really cool part. Silence isn't just about not talking. It's an active strategy. It's about intentionally creating a void and understanding the incredibly powerful psychological effect that void has on other people. The key word here is intentional. This isn't about being shy or just not having anything to add. No, this is a calculated move. It's designed specifically to make the other person uncomfortable, to make them question what you're thinking, and ultimately to make them rush in and fill that quiet space with valuable information.
This is just a fundamental part of human psychology, really. Think about it. That long, awkward pause in a conversation, it's deeply uncomfortable, isn't it? Most people will do just about anything to break it. And in that rush to fill the void, they start revealing things, their anxieties, their priorities, hidden bits of info, stuff they never would have shared otherwise. You create the vacuum, they fill it up with ammunition for you.
Okay, so how do you actually do this? Let's break down 3 core laws from this philosophy that you can use to immediately start commanding conversations just by using silence.
Let's run through these. First up, make them talk first. Super simple. Always let the other person state their position before you do. That way, you gain a ton of info without giving anything away. Second, let the awkwardness linger. When they finish talking, don't jump right in. Just pause. Wait an extra 2, maybe 3 seconds. That little bit of tension will often push them to add just one more crucial detail. And third, answer questions with more questions. When someone asks you something direct, just deflect with a question of your own. So instead of revealing your budget, you could ask, well, what's the ideal outcome you're looking for here? It keeps you in complete control of the information flow.
At the end of the day, all of these tactics are serving one single purpose: to win the information war. Every interaction we have, whether it's a salary negotiation or a big strategic meeting, it's all just an exchange of information. The person who has the most information and has revealed the least is the one holding all the cards. This metaphor is just perfect. Think about it that way. Every fact, every opinion you share, it's like handing a bullet to the person across the table. It can be used against you. By staying silent, you're not being passive. You're just refusing to arm your opponent.
And this is the goal: information asymmetry. You want it to be lopsided. Strategic silence lets you walk away from a conversation having learned pretty much everything about their position, while they've learned next to nothing about yours. That's not just an advantage, that is total dominance.
So, let's wrap this all up. The real source of power isn't about having the loudest voice in the room. It's about having the most disciplined mind and the most controlled tongue. So just remember, silence is power because it projects this unshakable confidence. It basically compels other people to show you their cards, it protects you from making unforced errors, and it turns you into an intelligence-gathering machine. Real power doesn't need to scream, it observes, it waits, and most importantly, it listens. And really, that's the final thought I want to leave you with. This isn't just some abstract theory. It's a tool you can use. So as you go into your next meeting, your next negotiation, or hey, even just your next conversation, think about the power of that void.
What incredible information can you gain by simply choosing to stay quiet?